Hey man, what it is, this is Deem and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go to Cash App, $Dean by any means. There go to PayPal, at Dean by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated. Shakur Stevenson and Eddie Hearn break their silence on Gervonta Davis fight. And all I got to say is it's a lot of mixed signals. And it's only coming from one side of the fence. It is not coming from Gervonta Davis' side. It is not coming from PBC side. This is all Shakur Stevenson's doing, Eddie Hearn doing, and their team. Let me talk about it. Shakur Stevenson says in an interview that he would love to fight Gervonta. That's a fight that he wants. He was in contact. Well, his peoples was in contact with Tank Peoples, and that they told him to send a contract, and Tank team ain't get back at him yet. So I guess that part was true. That's what Shakur Stevenson is saying, right? But then it leads me up to the fact that the other part of what he says has to be true too. Then that they was only willing to give Gervonta Davis a week or whatever. And my whole thing was Shakur Stevenson ain't in no damn position to give Gervonta Davis a time limit or an ultimatum when he got a purse bid coming up. See, that's the part that y'all all leaving out right here. The WBC got to be willing to step aside for Shakur Stevenson to even fight Gervonta Davis. That's first of all. That's number one. So once we get past all of that first, then we can start. And then Shakur Stevenson says something that I know he's being, I'll say, dishonest on. Because if you know anything about boxing, I hate when fighters say send a contract when the fighter knows that's not how it works. How you know Shakur Stevenson knows that? Because him and the Williams Zepeda has been in negotiations. Eddie Hearn words, not mine, that they was already sitting at the table talking to Oscar. No contract was sent. You know why? Because that's what negotiations is. You don't send a contract without negotiating first. That's first, y'all. So send a contract. Nobody is just going to send a contract that they're not even sure if you're going to sign or not. That's why that's why the WBC has mandated that Shakur negotiates with Williams Zepeda. Then you give an offer. It's not just send an offer, I sign it, and that's just what it is. That's not how things work. Another thing that was a mixed signal, Shakur Stevenson said that fight is going to happen. We going to fight. It ain't nothing's going to stop me and Tank from getting into the ring. I've noticed one thing about Shakur is if Shakur really thought Gervonta Davis was ducking him, or he thought Gervonta Davis was being unreasonable because he called him Olympic take, he would have sat up there and said that, yeah, he's not trying to fight me right now. That's not a fight he wants. We've seen Shakur Stevenson say this about other fighters. I don't understand why it would be any different with Gervonta Davis when he's already come out and said that Gervonta Davis was ducking him. He didn't say that this time. If anything, he gave more confidence that the fight is going to happen. Like I told y'all next year in the summertime, whatever. Like he told y'all the fight is going to happen. But this is the part that makes me even more frustrated because if what Shakur Stevenson is saying is true, Shakur Stevenson never said what Eddie Hearn said wasn't true. Dean, what you talking about? Eddie Hearn said he was advised by Shakur Stevenson team to not go after Gervonta Davis. So is you trying to fight the man or aren't you trying to fight the man? See, what I see going on is a lot of leveraging. You telling Eddie to not go out there and pursue the Gervonta fight because you're not sure if you want to sign with Eddie. You know that you probably could do better if you go directly towards Gervonta Davis. The problem with that is that Shakur Stevenson has business with the WBC and Williams Zepeda to get out the way if he want to go straight to Gervonta Davis. That is on Shakur Stevenson to be proactive about that, not Gervonta Davis. And I think that's where everybody gets mixed up. It's not Gervonta Davis is not a WBC champion. He's with the WBA. It is on Shakur Stevenson and Williams Zepeda and Oscar De La Hoya and James Prince and all of them to say, listen, I am trying to make a Gervonta Davis fight with Williams. It's not on Gervonta to pay Williams Zepeda's step aside money. That will be on Shakur Stevenson and them because he's the one that's mandated to fight Williams Zepeda, not Gervonta Davis. The WBA has not mandated Gervonta Davis versus Williams Zepeda, even though Williams Zepeda is the number one ranked guy in the WBA. The WBA has not mandated Gervonta Davis versus Williams Zepeda. So you can't say that it's a fight that you all the way want and you just waiting on him to send you something, which I believe that part is true. But then you tell Eddie Hearn to not pursue it either. So what that tells me that if you sign with Eddie Hearn, then you're not going to try to fight Gervonta Davis right away. They're both admitting that. I'm not cool with that part either. I don't care if you sign with Eddie. If you don't sign with Eddie, whoever you sign with, you need to be pursuing Gervonta Tank Davis. It is simple as that. I am not letting Shakur Stevenson get out of that because Eddie Hearn said that he was advised by Shakur Stevenson's team to try to see what he can do besides Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis team has not said anything. All we know from the Gervonta Davis team is that they reached out to Shakur Stevenson and they told Shakur they will be getting back at him. It is not on Shakur Stevenson to tell Gervonta Davis, well, you're not on my timeline. You can't, you're not moving fast enough. Shakur Stevenson admitted that he knows Gervonta Davis is in the Olympics. But the thing is about that, you can't use that as an excuse because it's like if you're going to admit that he's in the Olympics, then you got to, if you're going to use that, then you got to admit, okay, well, I know Gervonta's in the Olympics. That's probably why I didn't get a call back yet. But I think it's from the other side. You don't need Gervonta Davis being in the Olympics for y'all to contact PBC. Yo, Shakur Stevenson got before August 20th to figure all of this stuff out. It is on Shakur Stevenson to figure that part out, not Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis don't have a mandated fight. The guy he was going to fight backed out of the fight. It is on Shakur Stevenson to do that. It is on Shakur Stevenson to make sure that he is available to take the Tank fight. To break it down for y'all in simpler terms, it is on Shakur Stevenson's side to make sure that he's available and don't have no other fights lined up so he's able to take the Tank fight whenever that happens. And if Shakur truly thought that they were stalling and not trying to make the fight, I only got past behavior to go off of and what he's done before. Shakur Stevenson would have called him a duck. Shakur Stevenson didn't say that. He actually gave more confidence that they would fight. So that's why I said it's a lot of mixed signals. Because Shakur's saying one thing, then saying something else. Eddie Hearn's saying one thing and then saying something else. And that's the other question. If you Eddie Hearn, why would you be okay with not going after the Tank fight? You know why? Because Eddie Hearn has already been out here capping and lying on Gervonta Davis. He's already done bad business as far as sticking his neck out there for Devin Haney, and lying and say he got 20 million and he offered 20 million to Gervonta and blase. Eddie Hearn got caught up in trying to be cute and it's backfired. So that means Shakur Stevenson don't think that Eddie Hearn has the capability of making a Gervonta Davis fight. Well, Shakur, then that means that you shouldn't be signing with Eddie Hearn then if you know that. If you really want to get that fight with Gervonta, because Eddie Hearn don't have nobody for you to fight. And it's a reason you told him to not pursue Gervonta Davis. It's a reason you said that. Both, because if both is true, none of that is on Gervonta Davis. And that's the truth of the matter. Shakur Stevenson got mad at rumors that his team put out there, and then all he did was confirm what his team said. That's all he did was confirm what his team said. Al Heyman hasn't said nothing. Coach Kenny, Coach Calvin, they haven't said nothing. Gervonta Davis hasn't said nothing besides cap. We not fighting at that day. You got to negotiate first before you send anything. So before y'all go out there and be like, well, Shakur said, that his team ain't get back at him. Yeah, Shakur also said that the fight is going to happen. Shakur also said he's very confident that the fight's going to happen. Shakur also said that nothing is going to stand in the way between him and gervontadavis fighting. I got to hold Shakur to that standard because the only thing that's holding them in the way of them fighting is because Shakur Stevenson is on the other side of the fence. If Shakur Stevenson was over there at the PBC, this wouldn't even be a question. They would have had the same team. He wouldn't have to go ask anybody else anything. He would be contacting his own people to see what's going on. This is why I said Shakur got to be proactive and reactive. Him being reactive is when he answers that phone and says, yes, the PBC was in contact with us. Yes, they was in contact with us. And I said, I'll be willing to agree to take that fight and negotiate. That's him being reactive. Him being proactive is making sure that he stays free, making sure that he doesn't have anything lined up to where as though he can get that gervontadavis fight whenever they do call him back and be ready to negotiate. That is the truth of the matter. So all these mixed signals, I'm just a little suspicious on what's going on. That's all. Y'all already know what this is, though. Dean, by any means. And I holla at y'all.